Hey, Chels. How are you? Hey, Norma. Hi, Shelly. Leslie. Hey, Carmen. Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining tonight. Just got a really deep, heart-filled message from Keith, and I'm a little emotional, so I'm trying to listen to some Post Malone and cheer myself up a little bit. Not that it was sad, just, change is hard, Oh, Nancy, I'm so sorry to hear that you're still in the hospital. Praying for you. Hey, Carmen. You had an interesting day. I had a very interesting day, Chels. I had a dream last night, but I cannot remember what it was or who was in it. Hey, Judy. How are you doing? Hey, Miss Dixie. Oh, man. Today has been a day. The last few days of my life have been just so busy, but so beautiful and filled with just really, really amazing things. So tonight, after the live, or towards the end of the live, I want to share our wins, and I want to share a couple of my wins, and I want to hear what you guys have had going on. Yeah, it's been I've been posting a lot the last couple days. I felt a little bit guilty because I haven't posted anything from last weekend, and man, last weekend was just off the hook. So I'm really excited. I'm really excited for tonight, and we're gonna have a really special lady on tonight. Her name is Jessica, and she and I both have had meningitis, but unlike myself, her meningitis came as she was an adult. So from what I've heard about meningitis, it is much, much harder to recover from as you're older. For me, I was 4 months old. It almost took me out of the game. So I'm lucky to be alive, but there have been a lot of things that we wonder if this is why I'm going through it, because of having meningitis, if that makes sense. Hey, Joe, because not a lot of people survive it, and the ones who do, I from what I've been reading on it recently, more people have long-term health issues after that. So, oh, I'm so sorry, Nancy. It's okay, babe. We'll see you. Catch up with me. Send me a message, okay? Hey, Amy. Let me get Joe on real quick. So Joe is going to be co-hosting with me again this evening. 28 and had bacterial meningitis. Wow. About took you out. I'm excited to do this too, because I'm hoping that by doing it, I can connect with some more meningitis survivors and really kind of get more of a understanding of what it was like, because like I said, I was a baby, so I don't remember, what it was like to go through that. All I know is I'm sure it was incredibly physically traumatic. So, hey, Joe.
What's going on, y'all?
Hey.
Welcome to tonight.
Yeah? Are you excited?
Oh, heck yeah. Are you?
I am. I'm a little nervous. I've been bombarded the last few days with just a lot of stuff, and
Right.
I was sharing a little bit about that, but I know, isn't it? It's a little bit different, Keith, when you're watching on the other end. But I'm glad that you're taking a break off tonight, Keith. I'm glad that you're taking some time for yourself. So we got this. Don't worry, Dad.
I'm here on time. That's
Right? And I was almost on time. I was only a couple minutes late. Let me see if I can find Jessica. Molly, Joe, do you want to share about yourself a little bit before I
Sure.
get everybody on?
Sure. So my name is Joe, for all those that know me. I'm 48 years old. I'm married to a beautiful wife. I have a daughter. She's 25 years old, and I've had CRPS for about 5 years now. I have a spinal cord stimulator. My story is long, so this is a short version of it. I had a slip and fall on ice on December 3rd of 2019, and because of that is how I developed CRPS. So, yeah, you know.
Let me, I'm not seeing her yet, but I'll give her a few minutes to hop on. So a little bit about what did I miss that Keith said. Let's see. Better late than never. That's right. So I'm going to have a hard time keeping up with the comments tonight. So Joe's going to kind of help me scan through those. And we have a couple mods here tonight to help out too. So, hey, Miss Kendra, thanks for joining tonight. Oh, hey, Jet, there she is. Let me add you on if I can find you. And then I'm going to go over a couple of things real quick. And then I'm going to have Miss Dixie come on and have her do her message as well. For anybody who's new to us, we host this Invisible No More on Thursday evenings at 8 p.m. Central every week. And basically we do this because we feel like we're in a community of invisible warriors. And our goal is to be invisible no more by sharing our stories and sharing our experiences and finding people that we can relate to. And it doesn't really matter the diagnoses that we have. We can all find things to relate to within each other's stories. And not that the diagnosis isn't important, it is important to us, but I'm just saying that we can find things to relate to each other with, and it's really beautiful having this community. And I'm so excited to have Miss Jessica on, and she's going to be sharing a little bit about her story. We were kind of giving a little bit of a preview of what's to come tonight, so a little bit about me real quick. My name is Amanda. I go by Chronic Pain Warrior for You. I am about to be 38, I'm pretty sure. And I'm a mother of 2 girls and a wife of, will be 12 years on Sunday. So I am a CRPS warrior as well, have fibromyalgia, Sjogren's, a lot of spinal issues. 2 spinal cord stimulators and meningitis survivor as well. So I wanted to do a little precursor about what we do and don't allow. No drama, please, no drama llamas. We are not about the drama in here. We are a safe space, and we're here to share each other's stories and experiences and relate to each other, so please be kind. We do have some mods, so we appreciate the kindness, and if not, then you know what happens. So, and we don't talk about politics in here, no politics. If you guys do want to gift, that is completely up to you. I appreciate it always, but it is never expected. Of course, they make me smile and laugh, and you know, look at that corgi butt. I just can't help it. Thank you for the gift. I appreciate it, Deborah. But yeah, so gifts are appreciated always, but never ever expected. So, we have an orange button up, or maybe let Dixie do her thing. Does Dixie do that part? I'm trying to remember. Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let me get Dixie on, and she's going to share a little bit with y'all about some technical things that she can help us with. 1 second. Oops. Sorry. Yes, confirm. There we go. Thank you guys for liking. Tap, tap, tap my face.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, Dixie.
I did say.
Let me point you out to a few things here, and I'll get all the way. All right, right above Amanda's head, you should see a little orange heart right there. It costs 1 penny, and it sends 45 points to the FYP. It helps others in the community find us that may need us. After that, your first comment will send 30 points to the FYP after you hit that orange heart. Then, let's see here. I'm getting off my page here somehow. We need 15K to get to the FYP.
We're getting there.
Yes, we're getting there. Please keep tapping on Amanda's face. I promise you, you won't hurt her. Just keep tap, 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 tap. Let's see here. Oh, and please don't put no numbers in the chat, no more than 3 numbers, because TikTok is starting to pick those up as card numbers, and we don't want to get nobody in trouble. And I'm going to let Amanda tell you what she wants to do with subs, since we're starting to switch over here. She may have some surprises for us, or she may need to think on that a little bit. I don't know yet. I didn't get to talk to her before
Okay.
we start. So we got
Subs are always appreciated, of course. You know,
Yes.
as subscribers come in, right now I have numero uno. So as they come in, I will come up with different things that I'll do specially for subscribers. So if that's something you're interested in, of course, I'll be doing subscriber-only videos and things like that.
And as she said before, gifts are not expected, but they're definitely appreciated. And thank you all for being here. And I will get out of your way so you can get to your co-hostess. Thank you all.
Thank you, Miss Dixie.
Thank you, Dixie.
Have a great night.
You
You
too.
too.
So, one last thing is down at the bottom right-hand corner, there is an arrow that goes to the right. If you guys could press that arrow for me and send this live out to as many people as you possibly can. You can do it 15 people at a time, so go through your whole list if you can. We want to try to share this information and these stories with as many people as possible, because you never know who your story is going to reach and who it's going to touch and affect. And it works like the ripple effect. So the more we share this out, the more lives we're going to touch, and the more people we're going to have in our community. So, you know, let's share it out as much as possible. So, Miss Jessica, did you want to be on video tonight? You don't have to be if you don't want to.
I would rather not, because I think
Okay.
it just makes me nervous, if that's okay.
That's totally fine. Yeah. If there's ever anything that's asked of you and you don't feel comfortable with answering, just say pass. And that's totally fine. I know we've talked quite a bit back and forth. And so I wanted to see if you wanted to. So Jessica goes by at Jessica Twist 74. So if you guys can go and follow her after this, that would be great. Like I mentioned earlier, she is a meningitis survivor and she advocates for meningitis. And she is a fellow warrior. So if we could please give her the floor, and we're going to go ahead and start sharing your story. So can you tell us a little bit about who you are in your personal life?
Yeah. Well, I just recently moved. I'm a mother. I've had 2 children of my own, and I've also raised 3 stepchildren. I've recently moved to North Carolina.
Okay.
I travel around, and I'm an advocate for meningitis, MenB, Neisseria meningitis, and I go speak to doctors about that. I'm a survivor, so that's a little bit about me.
That's great. What So, what other kind of conditions? I know you've said you had meningitis and you survived that, but you've also been diagnosed with a few other conditions other than that, right?
Well, yeah, I've kind of had like a hard ride. I had meningitis when I was 20. I'm 49 right now. I started getting my first trigger point injections due to meningococcal arthritis that was in my spine at 21. So, but I stayed pretty active, you know. I knew things would probably progressively get worse, but I was in 2011. I had my own sign company and I was a sign painter, and you know, I still dealt with the chronic pain issues, but I was doing okay. And I ended up falling off some scaffolding and I tore my shoulder, my right shoulder out. And I didn't have insurance at the time, so it took me 2 years to get surgery, and I developed CRPS in my right arm due to that. I had about 3 surgeries later, and it wouldn't heal. And so I've been really dealing with that. And then recently, I've had issues with my spine for years. I got 2 spinal cord stimulators also, and they kept giving me injections. I have had probably over 100 injections. Stellate ganglion blocks because I have cervical dystonia, the 2 spinal cord stimulator implants. Well, then I come to North Carolina because I was in so much pain. I couldn't walk anymore. And I go into a surgeon here, and they told me I had how do you say it? Spondylolisthesis. That's what it is. I've been talking that word, spondylolisthesis. And I have 2 broken facet joints. They're broken, and I'm stage 3. And I'm talking to my surgeon, and I said, "Yeah, I've got spinal cord stimulators. I've had all this injections." And he looked at me and said, "Why'd they do that?" Like, I had a broken, you know, spine. It's physically slipped forward, and where I was living previously, they had to have known this. So, and I'm also have not had pain management now since last June.
Wow.
It has been so hard. I mean, just so hard.
How are you managing with that? Are you using any kind of,
Yeah, I use Kratom.
Okay.
I use Kratom a lot. And then it all kind of got to me, and I had a breakdown because I could not handle it anymore.
Sure.
And they offered me, where I was in psychiatry, that I could get the Subutex injection. And so 2 months ago, I gave in and took it. But I do have an appointment with pain management in November here.
Good. Can I ask, did you have any kind of side effects from that Subutex?
Not too bad. No, it's not too bad. It's not helping a lot because I was on Belbuca.
Gotcha.
And I was on Belbuca, and then I was on hydromorphone 2 milligrams for a day before I went to nothing.
Wow.
So, because I got in a class action lawsuit against I lost I had a side of a tooth fall out, and I never had a cavity in my entire life. And when I told my pain management doctor that in Kansas, I got a dismissal letter.
Wow.
So, yeah. So I had to go to Oklahoma. Yeah. And that was the only, pain management doctor in my town in Kansas. And so I ended up going to Oklahoma back in April. And it was such a long wait to get into a neurosurgeon. My appointment wouldn't even have came yet. And it's just, but if I had a SUD, I could get, at least something, because, it is. And then they see my MRI and are shocked. And it's like, yeah, I've been telling you, I don't know. It's frustrating. Yeah.
It really is. And I can honestly say from experience of being labeled with an SUD that you don't want that label. And it is extremely hard for patients that have it to access proper medications. So I hope that you don't have that in your records.
Well, they keep telling me, because I'm using IHS, that they're not putting that in my records.
Good.
But that they have to write opioid dependent. But then they're telling me when you click on that and you see my scans and my diagnoses, that they're not going to hold it against me at pain management. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if I'm gaslit again. It's
yeah.
I
think we talk a lot about getting our records and making sure that you review them before you go for disability, but I think it's also important to review before you change doctors, and just to make sure, because a lot of us have found things that discrepancies. And then we talk a lot about advocacy and how to, prepare yourself to go into these appointments that are in reality like interviews. Renee, SUD is substance use disorder, which is another term for addiction. So unfortunately, a lot of chronic pain patients do get labeled with substance use disorders in their charts, and it can affect our treatment moving forward. So,
and it's night and day from when I was diagnosed in 2011. With C. I had a neurologist. They're like, this is a horrible diagnosis and you're going to live in pain, but it's okay because you've got a great team of doctors behind you and we are never going to let you be uncomfortable. And I did. And I did. And then one by one, they started to retire. And then, it's not an easy thing. And I've been dealing with this for a long, long time. And I'm also a pharmacy technician.
Oh, really? I didn't know that about you. Wow.
I'm a licensed, nationally certified. So I'm also like, I cannot have anything on my record that says that. It should not be the case that I have to lie and say that I have something that I don't to get any sort of relief when they all know damn good and well, because it's all right there in my file that I need this and that I am in pain. They all know it.
Yeah. Well, and unfortunately, the medications that they do give for pain patients with substance use disorders in general are not super helpful for pain. There is one, but once you're labeled with that, it's hard you have to go through a process. And so a lot of people don't realize that too. But that we can talk about that on another live. So you said around 20 was when you started having problems, or were you younger than that when you started having chronic illness or chronic pain?
No, in 20 is when I had Min B.
Okay.
So I was in the hospital for a little over 30 days. I was scheduled to have my right leg amputated. It took me a year to relearn to walk. It was a lot. I mean, it was a lot. And I started having pain pretty much right then and there. And I remember doctors telling me, you almost died. you know, you are very lucky you are here, and what are you in here complaining about aching joints for? But I also didn't have insurance then either. So because I couldn't work, I was instantly disabled then. And I even had that huge bill. I mean, I was 21. And so it started about then. And then I started going to IHS and getting steroid injections in my spine at 21 and 22 years old. And I did that at least once a year. I get 4 or 5 trigger points from 22 to it was about 27 when I started getting my first epidurals.
So when
Have
did
you
you
had
get?
any, do you feel like you've had any like long-term side effects from having so many injections? Because I constantly wondered that about myself.
I don't know. I mean, I'm 49 now, so I guess I should preface that's how long I've been doing it, you know, from
Right.
27 to 29.
Yeah.
But I don't know. How do you know? How do you know? Like,
it is so hard to know, really. I mean, for me, it's the degenerative disc disease, the degeneration of the discs, and then also the arthritis, you know, and they've shown that those epidural injections can lead to that. So it makes me question things.
well, this is what I went through this was what made me decide to leave Kansas. It's, I had the spinal place send me to a rheumatologist because I have arthralgia that is not age appropriate, is how it's put in there. And she came in, the rheumatologist, and said, I can take one look at you and tell you what your problem is. You've had too many steroids. And so then I go back to the spine doctor who's wanting that, you know, let's do another injection, yada, yada. And I said, well, this is what the rheumatologist you just sent me to said. And then oh, no, that's not true, and blah, blah, blah. And then now, to come to find out, I thought it was spondylosis. That's what I thought I was seeing. I had my MRI. Spondylolisthesis is completely different. To me, I feel like I had a broken leg, and they gave me a spinal cord stimulator and some steroid injections. And now I'm to this point, and I don't know what came first, you know, chicken or the egg at this point, you know. And I also, so I need a SI right now. I have 2 surgeries that I need. I need a L4 and L5 fusion, and then a bone graft because they have to rebuild those broken facet joints. And then I have to get an SI fusion on both sides.
Wow.
And yeah, so that's what I'm getting ready to do. And I could have had the choice to do this at 30, but instead I feel like they just used me to get as much money out of me as they could.
I don't blame you for feeling that way at all. I live with that anger and that resentment all the time because I feel very used and then just thrown away, you know. I get it. I think a lot of us here understand that feeling.
Mm-hmm. It's defensive medicine. You know, doctors are always in defense. Mm-hmm. You know, it's not like they're on your side anymore.
No. I mean, there are some good ones out there that are still trying to fight, but it's hard to find them now. I mean, everything has become so corporate and so, you know, big money, big business, that it's really hard to find those gems. You know.
Oh, my spine doctor was very, very nice as he was giving me cared so much. And then now I'm looking back on it like, you know, sometimes the nicer the doctor was to me, the more what they said was just so full of it. Mm-hmm. And they were the ones doing the most damage.
Yeah. I feel that. I feel that. I don't know, Joe. Do you have any?
Do you still have the spinal cord stimulator, or did they take it out?
I still have them, but I want them taken out.
Yeah, because it's not doing anything.
Right, but the surgeon said that he can't get the leads out that go into my spinal canal. That they can only take the
battery.
Yes.
Yeah.
And both of my batteries are malfunctioning. Like, I can't even get them to charge. I can't get them to do anything.
Have you looked into the lawsuits that they have? Because there are multiple lawsuits against these spinal cord stimulator companies. For anybody that didn't know, that's considering getting one. I think it's important that we bring up, that they have helped some. I won't discount that, but there are a lot of horror stories that I hear with these things. I personally, I have two as well, and I can't get MRIs of my brain anymore, and they won't release, they can't take out the leads, so I will never be able to get an MRI ever again for the rest of my life.
Wow.
So it's very, I get your anger behind it, because you feel like they talked you into something, and then now you can't get out of it, and surgeries like that should, implanted devices should be able to be removed. Right.
I agree. And it's kind of a panic feeling almost when it's in your body, it's malfunctioning, and you can't get it out. I mean, the leads necessarily don't bother me too bad in my case, because I can get MRIs with the leads in there. But having two batteries in your body that are malfunctioning and you can't get them out.
Right.
I mean, because what? Because an opioid is too risky? I mean, are you serious? Now, I feel like I live in upside down land, and I just, but I did have some severe mental health issues because of all of this. I mean, I guess you can say I had a breakdown, basically, just a few months ago. But I kind of have come to a place where I'm going to make the best of it, because being mad doesn't do a damn thing.
Sure.
It really doesn't.
Yeah.
And I'm over it, and I'm just going to try to enjoy the little things, because it is what it is, and I can't change it.
Yeah.
But, I really appreciate what you guys do, coming out and giving a voice to people, because we are not heard. I mean, we're not, and it takes a lot of energy, especially when you have chronic pain, to do this. So I applaud you for that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I really appreciate you coming on and sharing. The more that we share, the more I realize that I have so much more in common than I ever even realized. And I think that's something that's really beautiful about our community, is just that we make those connections and those bonds, and find, things to have in common with each other, and we just build friendships out of that. And I'm thankful for everybody that's joining us tonight. I really appreciate everybody. Appreciate you, Joe.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Because without the guests coming on, there wouldn't be any Invisible Thursday.
Oh, yeah.
So
yeah,
without you
guys, we wouldn't have this.
Sharing your story, we wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
So.
Absolutely. So you said that I think we can relate on having the mental breakdown, because I think a lot of people that don't struggle with chronic pain or chronic illnesses don't realize the mental impact that it has on your life, and how dark it really can get, and how lonely it can feel. That's another reason why I love doing this, is because we're supporting each other, and we're pulling each other out of that darkness. And if you want to share anything about that, you are more than welcome to. If not, if you'd rather share, how you got through it and where you are now, that's fine too.
Well, I think a lot of mine also had to do with just also relationships, my marriage. I was always okay and upright. And then last February, I had to be carried out of my house. I could not walk, and I didn't think I'd ever be able to walk again. And I was legit down. Couldn't even get out of bed at all for a while. And my husband, I think that really hit him.
Yeah.
And then I got dismissed, and all of it was just a lot.
Yeah.
I was lucky to get to go to a good place here in Cherokee, North Carolina, and that really helped, and some support groups, and then just trying to see the beauty in little things, because there's nowhere to go but up,
Absolutely. I say that too. I got that from treatment as well. I went in 2018, and yeah, having that support when you felt like you may have been the only one that was going through what you were going through, like, it's life changing, right?
Yeah, for sure. Because then when you stop and have to take stock of, is it really worth being here? Is there really any hope? What kind of life can I even have? And even when I went in there, no one could argue with me. No one could argue with me that I did not have a legit reason to feel the way I feel. But all of those doctors, nothing I can do. There's nothing I can do. Bullshit. There is something that they can do.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just done asking them. I mean, I do have my appointment November 12th and to pain management here, and I'm gonna go, but
I really, really hope that they can help you. I'm sending all the positive energy and good juju and prayers your way, that appointment will be life-changing for you, I hope.
Thank you.
I'm glad that you at least have something natural that you can, fall back on, at least to try to get maybe down a couple points sometimes, but I know that it's hard doing it with just, one thing. It takes a complete toolbox of different modalities to try to treat pain when you're in immense pain like we deal with. You can't just, a pill is not a plan. Like Dr. Mike says, we can't just rely on our pills. We have to figure out what else works for us. And do you go to therapy currently?
I am not right now because I kind of have another life situation going on.
Sure.
But I'm going to acupuncture. I'm still seeing, my psychiatry doctors and things like that. And I've got a new support system here. So yeah, and I know this is real controversial. I don't know if I should say it or not, but why not? I've said this much. There's a form of kratom that a lot of people are against, but that's what gets me through.
Really?
I mean, I hate to say it. I mean, I get what everyone thinks about it, and I'm on, but I shouldn't have to. That shouldn't have to be a thing.
Sure.
But it does work. It does work.
Yeah. Well, that's good. I mean, we all have to find what works for us because we're all individuals and we all respond differently to different medications and even different herbs and supplements. We all have different reactions. So, I went on a natural journey when I got cut off of my pain meds, and I found some really great options for natural relief, and I'm so thankful for that, because even though I am prescribed pain medication, it's not enough. On many days, I still have, breakthrough pain, and so it helps get me down to a tolerable level, or, even, dare I say, to a point where I've had moments where I have not been in pain, and I never, ever imagined in the last 14 years that I would ever achieve that. So I'm thankful for natural plant medicine as well. So I really, gosh, I hope that appointment goes good for you. I really do.
Yeah.
We've been hearing so many, as many horror stories as we've been hearing lately with what's going on with the cuts and everything like that. We have also thankfully been hearing lots of success stories in regards to people being able to find good doctors and get their medications and things like that. And that's something that, we're going to really try focusing on come November, which is right around the corner. We're going to be focusing more on, success stories and things like that, because these coming months are hard for so many of us, whether it's because of family or holidays or financials. It can be really stressful and sad, and we want to try to bring up the mood as much as we can, because we know that the last couple projects have been incredibly hard and incredibly challenging for those involved. I know Joe can attest to that, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And we would love for you to do, an upcoming project if you'd be interested, because I know you've had some successes. You've gotten to the point now where you're not as angry, or you've learned to let go a little bit, and I think it's important for us to figure out how to get to that point in our lives where we can try to let go of some of that despair and some of the sadness and the heaviness, because in reality, what I've learned, at least through therapy and processing all of this trauma, is that when we process it and let it go, it can bring us a sense of peace, and it can relieve certain types of pains. I'm not saying that it takes it all away. Don't get me wrong, and don't get my words twisted on that. But there are certain amounts of pain that I don't deal with anymore because the emotional aspect of it.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, when you're doing something you enjoy, and those endorphins are, it's a chemical response, and it helps. It does. Doing things you enjoy and having hobbies.
Yeah.
And I've started beading again, which has also been something, creating things that I'm proud of. And so,
that's awesome.
And I'm not saying I'm a success story or I have great days every day, because I don't at all.
No, and that's not the reality for us. Even me, I know you guys see me doing all these things now, but y'all don't see the downtime in between where I'm laying in bed crying, or, there's a lot of that too. I just don't post a lot of it. But there's definitely, it's a roller coaster, man. It's a roller coaster.
Revolving door.
Yeah. Yeah, and we pay for it. We pay to live, but it's like, is it worth the price? In my mind, it has been. If I could go to one concert and lay in bed for a week, then it was worth it. So I don't know. I've done a lot of self-exploration, self-healing, and I think that you're getting there too, Jet. And I know Joe is starting that journey, and I'm really excited for Joe. And I think, we're going to get to this place together, and it's going to be a really great thing.
So I got to say something, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
I thought this was really interesting, okay? So I did some digging, and I found on Amazon a book
Oh, yeah?
written by Glenn J. Twist Boston Mountains Tales, Stories from a Cherokee Family.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's me. That's my family. Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
That was really,
Yeah.
that
That's
was like, wow.
Yep. That's us.
Cool.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
that is
That's really
Cherokee.
cool.
I was watching some of your videos, and my daughter and I were actually watching the video that you shared about Indigenous people and people, you know, portraying themselves as Indigenous people. It was really interesting because I'm kind of a chameleon of races. Just to clear this up, I'm half Korean. But a lot of people ask me if I'm Native or if I'm, you know, Samoan, or I get a lot of different ethnicities thrown at me.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. You can't really go by looks.
no,
you know?
definitely
No.
not, because there's a lot of natives that you wouldn't even think, you know, are Native, right? I love going to powwows personally. I've always really been very interested in Native culture. I grew up in Arizona with the Navajo culture, was really like ingrained in us as kids, and I think it's really beautiful, all the different cultures and the different clothes and their way of life and their way of thinking and their in tuneness with nature. I really love it all. But
Well, thank you. Thank you guys for having me on.
absolutely. Is there anything else about your story? I know there's been, you know, a lot. It's so hard to fit your life into, you know, an hour and a half segment. And I don't even know where we're at. What time is it?
It's 9:42.
9:42. So 8:42 here.
Yeah.
So we've been on for. Okay, so we're good, right?
Yeah.
We've still got like another, you know, 40 minutes or so if you guys want to keep going. Let's see. So let's see. Where?
You know,
Okay, go ahead.
well, I do kind of have something that I want to know if you guys have ever had this happen. Whenever I used to get all these injections, you know, I wasn't, after a while, they didn't let me have, well, like after 4 or 5, they did not allow me to have sedation anymore.
Really?
I wasn't allowed. Every single one of those stellate ganglion blocks, I did all of those epidurals with no sedation.
Wow.
And it was because I had like had so many or whatever. They're like, oh, you're a champ. You're a champion. You know, you can do this. And the very last shot I had after so many, I like went to walk in the door and I just broke down. Like it wasn't the first one. It was like, I just couldn't do it anymore. You know, I was like, I'm done. I am done.
I've had, I think, 3 epidurals without sedation, and that, I believe, is what started my problems in my lumbar area, because I think I moved, and I know I moved when I had mine with my daughter and that they missed. So I think I did have a CSF leak for a while, and it finally, like, just fixed itself. But have you ever had any issues with CSF leaks, or do you know if you have?
Well, I did, but it was related to the stimulator. But I did have the right side of my face go droopy for a little while, and then I couldn't eat for a while.
Was that from the stellate ganglion blocks? Yeah, I had that for like, it's like 24 hours. Was it longer than that for you?
For what?
The droopiness and all that?
The droopiness was longer. It was about 72 hours.
Oh, wow.
But it was only one time that happened.
Okay.
And then my ear thing happened a couple of times, but one time it lasted a while, and everyone sounded like I was in a video game, like
Right.
And it drove me insane.
Yeah, it's so weird. The stellate ganglion blocks. I haven't thought about how I felt afterwards for a little while, because I've probably had 6 of them total, and the last 3 we did back to back to back, 1 month after another, because that's what my surgeon said that we needed to do to get it under control. And I will say that it did help after that 3rd one. I did start having like relief, but the feeling that you have after the stellate ganglion blocks with the droopiness and like the tingling and the nose, and it's like your face, it's almost like you've had a stroke in a sense. You look like that. And so it's very, and my last one, it like paralyzed my vocal cords, so I couldn't even talk. It was, it's very scary going through these procedures, and they just pump us through like we're cattle, you know, going through a feeding station. It makes me sick, really. It does. I feel angry about our medical system. And yeah, my medical PTSD, no one else is ever touching my spine, although I think the only thing I will do is get these batteries taken out of me. And I think that's the last thing that I'll ever do. Other than that, I've gone to the point where I've accepted that whatever's going to happen is going to happen, and I may not catch it. But I'm to that point of PTSD with medical that I can't go back.
Most of the comments, people are saying that when they got the shots, they never got sedation.
Yeah,
I know. I got it.
I got sedation when I switched to a different. So I was with a certain hospital, and that's when I wasn't getting sedation. And then I switched to another pain management group, and they offered me sedation, and I was like, "What?" Like, you can put me out for this shit? Like, yes, please. Because I literally, the first time I did it, and it was in the office. Like, it's not a sterile place. And they're sticking a needle in your freaking spine. Like, come on, guys.
So you didn't go to like one of those outpatient places? No?
I was in a doctor's office room.
Really?
When I get sedation, and I felt like I was gonna have a heart attack because it hurt so bad, and I jerked, and I think that was it for me in my lumbar. I think that it just, and that's the reality of it though, guys, is that we could easily move, and they have a needle in our spines, and it's so dangerous, and they treat it like it's nothing. And that's what makes me mad, is that they treat it like it's nothing, and it is something. You know, the stuff that they even put in the injections, like, Google it. Just Google it. I'm not going to go into it, but just Google what they put inside those steroid injections, and if it's FDA approved to go into the spine. Just Google it. But anyways, I digress. I'm so sorry that you went through all of that without being sedated, because I know the nightmare that it feels like, and then to find somebody who could sedate you like that, it's, and then you're like, okay, sure, I'll do this one after another. You know, if you're going to sedate me, then sure, I'll take a nap, and my insurance is going to pay for it. I'll take a nap. Like, that's 30 minutes and I'm not in pain.
Did you ever get the Botox injections? I got those for like the dystonia, and then they gave up and started amputating. So I have, my collarbone has been cut off.
What?
Because, yeah, the right arm that I have CRPS in, I have dystonia so bad it like pulls my whole shoulder forward, and it just sticks in that nerve bundle. So they'd give me Botox in my neck to like try to paralyze that muscle to get it to let go, and like that just didn't even work. I tried that for a couple years, and it got risky because it's also right around your esophagus and where you breathe.
Yeah.
So then they just decided to cut off the end of my collarbone. And yeah, so, and then they're like, yeah, and if it gets, they might have to take off more. So yeah.
Yep.
Have they tried ganglion rocks here or no?
Yeah, that's where I get them. Oh
Okay.
yeah, I've had so many of those. Yeah,
Did
for
it do anything? Nothing, right?
Nothing. No, not anymore. But I
No.
mean, I still got them though. Like I still just kept going and getting them.
Because they ask you, you know, because
Yeah.
they make it, you know, and
Because
then
it's
some
not
doctors
bad.
won't even give you medications if you don't, which is so wrong. It's, oh, it fires me up. It's so wrong. Like,
It's worth a
what
shot.
happened to my body, my choice, you know, when it comes to what I put into it, like.
But it did help the inflammation, you know, like I
That's
can't
good.
say, and like they helped at first, but then after a while, like you don't know. It's like, oh, I'm hurting real bad. Yeah, I'm gonna go. It's helped before, you know, and inflammation I get so inflamed and so swollen.
Yeah.
And then when I take prednisone, the swelling goes down and it gets better.
Right.
But I'm in that fine line zone where I can't do it anymore and something has to give, and I'm gonna get those surgeries. I know that sounds crazy, but what am I supposed to do? Like, I know staying like this, I'm not gonna be able to walk much longer at all, you know, even short distance, because I've already had where I couldn't get in and out of my house. I couldn't get, you know, and I can't be like that. So I got to give it a shot. I don't know what else to do.
I know. And I hate that we get put in that position where it's such a double-edged sword, but they talk about surgery like it's the fix-all, and in reality, a lot of us end up worse afterwards, you know, and it's so hard to make that decision when you know that it could be better or it could be worse, you know.
Well, with spondylolisthesis, like, I don't have a choice, you know, like there's no way it's not, because I'm at a stage 3. When it slips, when they slip completely to a stage 4, like I can't walk no more.
Can't walk anymore, yeah.
Right.
That's my biggest fear.
I will be paralyzed.
Now, the leads for your stimulator, they're not high enough that they can use it for your arm?
Yes, I have one of my stimulators goes to the top to my arm for CRPS. The other one goes to my lumbar. But I also have I have herniated discs and degenerative disc disease and all that stuff in my neck too. That surgery I'm going to put off. But so I would get injections there. I don't even know. But see, what I used to do is try to put it out of my mind, like ignore it, you know, as much as I could, so I wouldn't read my MRIs and I wouldn't Dr. Google them. You know, I was read all these words and I'm like, I'm not gonna look this up, and I'm not gonna, and I wrongly thought it was spondylosis, you know, and I was like, well, that's just something chronic and it'll get. I had no idea that
It's actually the spondylolisthesis or
spondylolisthesis, I think.
Yeah.
It's like a $20 word.
Right? Yeah.
So much different, you know, and nobody explained that to me. And I feel like given a choice, because if I would have had this fixed at 35 or whatever, I would have never had to go through this.
Right. Yeah.
It's so hard when, I think that's another part of the grieving process too, is getting through that time when you realize that had the doctors actually listened to us in the beginning, that we may not have progressed as quickly or as badly. And so many of us in this community deal with that, those feelings of regret, of not finding out sooner.
So what ifs?
The what ifs, yeah.
Mustang Kelly said that she had, or he, I'm sorry if I misgendered you, grade the 3 spondylolisthesis.
Oh, really?
That's what mine is.
Okay.
Did you have the surgery, Mustang?
He was asking about, or she, I'm sorry. They were asking about nerve ablations, radio frequency ablations earlier. I believe that was one. And we haven't touched on that yet. I would like to talk about that too. You've had multiple ablations as well?
Oh yeah, I've been getting ablations I think since 2012.
Yeah. Mine all started in 2000. Let me see. In 2010, like the very, very end of 2010. And I started having ablations maybe 3 years after that. They started offering those. And I was always sedated for those, thank God. But I never... I had relief out of maybe I'm going to guesstimate that I've had it done 10 times or so. And I would guesstimate to say that it helped maybe 2 times, for the longest was 6 months. So it's not that they can't help. It's just I didn't have very good success with them personally. You know, I'm curious. How about you, Joe? Have you had the RFAs? Not yet?
No, never. All I've had was the ganglion blocks and the spinal cord stimulator.
Okay. And you have one in your lumbar?
Yeah, it's right up here.
Oh,
second vertebrae down, that's where the leads are.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I can actually feel them if I move my head a certain way.
I just had to have x-rays on whatever day that was. I went to the doctors. They were like, maybe we should check and make sure your leads are in the right place. And I was like, you sons of bitches. Yeah, I don't know. This isn't my show, so I'm not going to go into that story. But my doctor had 2 students with him, and one of them asked me about it, and I gave him an earful, as well as the rep who came in to reprogram me. So they both got an earful on it.
Yeah. That was like a similar story because I have 2 fractures, in my spine. The surgeon sent me to get x-rays. And when they first did it, they were like, well, just stand right here and blah, blah, blah. And they told me they was going to bend me over and this and that. And then they go in there, shot 1 x-ray, and they come back out and they're like, is this going to be okay? Can you move this way? And I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, what's wrong? Right?
Yeah. Yeah. But it's frustrating because you tell people, and no one listens. And then they get the x-ray, or then they get the MRI, and then everyone's got their hair on fire. And that's really frustrating.
Yeah, it really is. I know CRPS is such a vicious, vicious fucking disease. And, mine started in my right shoulder and neck, and now it's expanded through my whole body. So it's just, I never realized that it could do that and so quickly. So it's been a journey, and meeting other people with CRPS, which is complex regional pain syndrome, for those of you who don't know. It's called the suicide disease for a reason. It is incredibly painful, and I feel so badly for people that are, especially for people that are newer to it. Like for me, I've learned over the years how to get through it and how to cope and how to talk to my doctors and everything, but I feel for people that are new to it because they don't know what's to come. And
Erica MS Warrior asked, how do you get diagnosed for CRPS? I got diagnosed using the Budapest criteria. So they'll do different tests on you, depend how you score. It's they decide if you do or not have CRPS. There's other tests too. I believe a bone density scan But I
Yeah,
don't think
I've
they
done
do
like
that
nerve
anymore.
tests and things like
Yeah.
that over the years, and um, they just could never figure out what it was, and so I got diagnosed with fibromyalgia first, and
It
it's
mimics it, yeah.
right. It does like kind of
Right.
coincide with each other. A lot of the same symptoms go together. And so it's kind of difficult. I think a lot of people get misdiagnosed with one or the other. And I almost wonder, I don't know. I almost wonder if I'm misdiagnosed sometimes. But
Right.
I'll never know. I'll never
Right.
know after this.
When I was diagnosed, it was called RSD,
Yes.
Mhm.
Right.
reflex sympathetic dystrophy,
Yes.
and it was my neurologist
Yeah.
who diagnosed me. And but my family doctor knew what it was because, like, I just wouldn't heal. My arm got really big and swollen and was purple and so painful. And my my family physician way back, then in 2010, 2011 was like, I think what you have going on is neurological.
Mhm.
And I thought he was insane. And then he sent me to a neurologist and
Yeah.
they told me it was RSD.
Mhm. Do you have any autoimmune conditions going on as well with these? Or
I do. I just haven't really. That's why I got sent to that one rheumatologist in Kansas. But I'm kind of just gonna start all over again.
I feel
I'm just
that.
Here again.
I feel that. I had to start over last year. I lost 3 doctors at one time. It was a very stressful time. And but I'm glad. I'm glad that it worked out that way because I replaced them with much better candidates. So not that it didn't take time to interview other doctors, but I finally found the right team, and I minimized my team. So it's just it's hard starting over, and I know a lot of us are dealing with that fear too, with November coming up with the insurance changes and things like that a lot of us are feeling that heaviness from the fear of, if my insurance changes or my doctor's going to change, all those things. Like, I know I'm personally dealing with it, and so I can only imagine that a lot of other people are dealing with it too. But yeah.
Erica, I'm not a doctor, so what I'm going to say is just my personal experience with CRPS. Normally with CRPS, you experience pain that is not normal to your injury. That's a telltale sign. You'll have burning, you'll have shooting pain, you'll feel like creepy crawlings inside your skin, hypersensitivity to touch, anything rubbing on it will hurt, will feel like sandpaper. I often describe it as a constant sunburn that doesn't go away.
Mm-hmm.
You'll feel like electricity shooting in that area. Now, I don't get the changes in skin color that others
Right,
get.
I don't either.
And I don't get where my hand swells or anything like that. But I get all the other symptoms. So that's,
Same.
I will write down, your symptoms, what you have every day, any changes, discoloration of the skin, if it's hypersensitive, stuff like that.
There are some great journals on Amazon that you can look at. I'm sure there's some on TikTok Shop. I think Joe has a good one. Let's see it, Joe. And these journals can be such an important tool to take with you to your doctor's offices as well. And what I did for a while was I would do one of those journals, and I probably still should do it, but I'm not as good as keeping up with that stuff. But what I used to do was I would track it, and at the end of the month, I would go through and review and notice, did it change with what I ate? Did it change with how the weather was? Did it change with the temperature, the barometric pressure, like there's so many factors that can affect our pain. And so it was a good way to review how my pain was that month, so I could go into my doctors and say, look, I had a pretty rough month for this amount of time, and it's a great tool to use. So definitely, if you're not doing that, think about doing it, because it also helps to bring it into the doctor and show that you're taking your illness seriously, and that you are trying to figure out what is going on so that you can get treatment, so that you can try to get a better quality of life. I think that's great that you do that, Joe. It's really important.
I need to start doing it every day too.
Yeah, I mean, things are hard. I mean, when you're in pain, it's just hard to keep
and you forget
routines.
Yeah.
And I'm neurodivergent, so like routines are like not my jam. I'm trying so hard though, I promise. Joe just added 2 apps onto my phone today, and I'm like, oh my gosh, 2 more apps.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm so glad you're helping us. But so let's see. Is there anything else, Jess, that you want to share about? I mean, we had talked about your roommate too, and what she's going through. If you wanted to share anything about that. Is she there? Oh, I think she. Oh, okay.
No, I don't want to do that.
Okay.
On here, because that's kind of her story
Okay.
or whatever.
Absolutely. No,
That's okay.
Yeah. No, that's totally fine. Absolutely. So where do you see yourself going? Like, if you were able to get good pain management from this doctor, are there goals or dreams that you have that you would like to try to accomplish?
Well, I do have a lot of things that I want to do, but I think it will probably be after surgery, because I swell so bad now that like I kind of limited, walking around. But yeah, I love the outside, so I want to kayak, and
I love
and I live in the mountains, so it'd be nice to be able to hike in the mountains. But those are just some small things that I want to do.
That would be so amazing. I hope that you get to that point. I really do, because we have that in common. I'm an avid outdoor person, and I know that once you get to that point, just the joy that those things are going to bring to your life are so worth it. So I really hope that for you. So let's see. Should we, is there anything else that I didn't bring up that we talked about?
I'm actually just kind of tired,
Okay.
so
Yeah. If you're ready to pop off, that's okay too. No.
Yeah.
I understand it's a long time to stay on and talk. So I really, really appreciate you hanging out with us and sharing your story and being so open and vulnerable with us. I know that that's not always easy. But I'm glad that we met, and I'm glad that we've made this connection.
Yeah, me too. Thanks. And anytime, like you mentioned that you had another project that you thought, just me, and I'll be glad to help in any way I can.
Awesome.
So thank you for having me.
Yeah.
And thank you for the gifts, everyone in the chat. And we'll talk soon.
All right. Have a good night, Chet.
Thank you so much.
You too. Yeah, you too. Night, night.
Night.
Good night.
Let me see. Okay. All right. That was a good Good live, I
It
think.
was. It
What
was
do you
really
think?
good.
Yeah. So I want to hear about what you guys think. Did you guys have a good night? And tell me about some of your wins in the last week. And it can be as simple as taking a shower. I know that is a big deal for me, you know, or getting out of bed. You know, it can be as big or as little as you want. I mean, a win is a win in my book. And sometimes it's those little things that we do for ourselves that really we need to pay attention to and show ourselves like a little bit of love, you know, for doing those things. Like give yourself a little bit of grace and be kind.
Carmen said she took a shower.
Yes.
Awesome.
Good job, Carmen. I took one too. I really needed to. I got chickens there. I mean, I unfortunately have to shower more than I really can. But you took your 3-year-old granddaughter to San. Wow, that's awesome, Erica. Good job. Good job on, you know, trying to fit that nutrition into. It's so important. And teaching them that as well. You stayed at work for 4 days straight, no going home early. Congratulations, Leslie. That's huge. That is Sam's Club for me. That is exhausting. It is exhausting. Took a bath during the live. Nice, Judy. Man, I wish I could. I should have done this from the hot tub, y'all. Oh. Yes, and Chelsea, she finally found us on oh my gosh. Chelsea has changed my life, y'all. And if you didn't see my videos from earlier, she's an amazing person to follow as well. Like all of these people you see in our comments, you need to go follow each other because we're a community and we lean on each other and that's what we need. We need that sense of community in our lives. I know that I did. And yeah, you guys have to check out my video about Chelsea because, man, last night was off the hook. I was bawling, like snot bawling. It was so good. But yeah, who else has a win? Dixie, how you doing? Let me know when.
Beverly said that she worked half a day at the office Wednesday, but she paid for it. But she's glad she won. Hey,
good.
That's a win. That's a win.
Hey. Sometimes, you know, like we were talking about earlier, sometimes we do these things and we know that we're going to pay for them, but we have to outweigh the benefit to the pain. And it sucks that we know that we're going to hurt afterwards, but damn it, I gotta live. Let's see. You drove to Nashville today and survived. Awesome. I would love to go to Nashville. I love Tennessee. I went to Tennessee a couple years ago and it was beautiful there. Let's see here. You're always afraid your camera's gonna come on, Judy, while you're in the bathtub. That's so funny. I live in that fear too. You went to firearms training this evening. That is awesome. It's something I personally am trying to figure out how to do as well. Oh, I know. I drove to Austin this week, and Austin is like Nashville, just in Texas, and I spent 2 hours in traffic getting to my doctor's office, and I was just so over it. Oh my gosh, traffic is something else. But I continually, when I get upset about driving, I continuously remind myself that just a couple years ago, I almost lost my ability to drive, and that was so devastating to me. So I always remind myself, just be thankful that you can even sit in the driver's seat right now. because I know a lot of us would just dream of being able to do that, and it is a fear of mine. It is a fear of mine. So I'm sorry for those of you guys who can't. I never mean to complain about it. It's just, it hurts.
I haven't driven in 3 years.
Yeah, oh man, I lost a lot. Yeah, I'm not gonna go there, but it sucks. It does. So don't give up hope, you know. That's all I gotta say about that. Don't give up hope. Things, you never know. And that's the one thing that I just keep having to pinch myself, because I never ever thought I would be in this position right now, and you just never know where your life is going to turn out. You like being a passenger? I prefer being a passenger, honestly, but because then I can take a nap.
All right, so let's pull the cat out of the hat. Katie's my wife.
What's that? Oh, Katie's your. Oh, that's right.
All those that don't know. So yeah, she is a. She used to be.
It used to be the passenger princess. Now you're the passenger princess. Yeah. Are you a good passenger though, Joe? Come on, Katie.
You ever seen the commercial where the guy is teaching the daughter how to drive?
Yeah.
And he's thumping on the ground, looking for the imaginary prey.
Oh my goodness. That's so funny. Judy, you got a lot accomplished, Judy. I'm so proud of you. So again, for those of you guys who don't know me or don't follow me or haven't been watching my videos, I got a surprise of a lifetime last night, and times two. I had just real short. I'm going to keep it short because it could be a real long story. I signed up to meet with Matt Frazier, which he's a pretty famous medium. My friend Clayton passed away in May of this year, and I have been pretty heartbroken since. And he was also a medium, and he was the reason I believed in mediums, because he had given me a reading, and unintentionally reading, and connected me with some spirits that I had a lot of unresolved trauma around, and it was a really beautiful thing. Well, Clayton passed, and I had asked him, after he passed, to just send me someone so that I could connect with him, because I had so much unresolved questions for what happened with him. And so I did this thing with Matt Frazier. My camera malfunctioned, and I couldn't get his attention. He brought up a spirit, and that sounded just like my friend as far as the situation and everything. And I couldn't get his attention. Well, my camera was malfunctioning. Tuesday night, I jumped on our live with Keith and Amy, and Chelsea found me. It was very interesting how everything played out, but Chelsea is also a medium, as well as a chronic pain patient and chronic illness patient. She gave me a reading last night, again, kind of unintentionally. My friend is very vocal. He's a very big character, and if you guys haven't seen it, his name's Clayton Silva on TikTok. He was an advocate for chronic pain patients. He still has videos up that are really great information. So if you guys ever want to check out his stuff, he left his mark on Earth here, and he still is leaving his mark, in my opinion, by helping us connect, because Keith and I connected through Clayton as well, and I would have never met, it's amazing how things work out. So Chelsea told me that Clayton was messing with my camera on my laptop because he wanted to connect me with somebody that was within our community that could help me heal from this. And so it was beautiful. I cried like snotty tears, and it was beautiful. But I was telling my husband about what had gone on because he didn't even know. I was just in here crying on the phone while he's checking on me, and he's like, what is going on? And so he surprised me last night. I told Clayton, just like, please let something good happen. And our anniversary's on Sunday. He bought tickets for us to go see Post Malone, which I had not so subtly been hinting that I really, really wanted to go, but I didn't think he was going to actually do it, and he did, and so that's my win. And I've been to 2 other concerts in the last couple months, so it's been a wild ride. Like, it really has.
But a good one.
And I feel like he's helping me, live my best life right now. And it's really beautiful. Some of us have, all of us have gifts and talents in our community. And I want to know what your guys' gifts and talents are. I want to know what you guys can bring to the community as well, because if there's something that you guys have to offer, let us know, because we're trying to build this thing. We don't want it to just be Keith and I anymore. We want it to be Keith and I and Joe and Amy and Dixie and Kendra, and we're all a big community, and we want to lean on each other and support each other in any way that we can. Some of us are struggling more than others, and if we can, a few months ago I did some fundraisers, and it took a lot of effort, it took a lot of work, but it was so worth it. But I was really surprised, because it was before Keith and I started really doing this. I was really surprised how many people gathered around and really showed some love. It was amazing to see how many people were willing to help us out. And I'm so thankful for you guys. I can't say it enough. I really can't. I'm thankful that Joe stepped up, and he's wanting to help me co-host on Thursday nights, and we're going to expand, and hopefully our goal is to expand to where we have 4 lives a week, and it's going to be other community members holding these lives. And so if anybody is interested in ever hosting or co-hosting, please feel free to reach out to me. If you ever want to come on and share your story, we're scheduling out. We've got a few people coming on in the next few weeks, and they're good, and it is going to be good, y'all. So I hope that everyone continues to be a part of this project and this movement. I told Keith the other night, I'm like, I don't know if I'm so much an advocate as much as I want to be an activist. I want to make change. I want to end the stigmas and the biases against us. I want us to share in our stories and also share in our victories. I have so many big hopes and dreams for what's to come. And I just know that whatever we're going to do come, 2025, it is going to be really big. So I'm excited.
Definitely.
Yeah, and Chelsea also really wants to join in and share her story. She's got a pretty amazing story, too. We shared a lot with each other last night, and so if you guys could do her a favor and go follow her, she needs to get up to 1,000 to be able to come on the live. So yeah, if you guys could do that, we would definitely appreciate that. Like I said, go follow each other, make some connections, find each other. You know, we're not all, I guess another thing I want to leave with is we're all different people, right? And we all have different hopes and dreams and aspirations and different beliefs, and we will find people from within this community that we can connect with, and some of them we're gonna connect really hard with, and some of them we may not like, and some of them we're really gonna love, you know. So but at the end of the day, we're a family, and we're gonna make it work out, and we're not gonna fight. So we want this to continue to be a safe space for everybody to share and to love on each other. And yeah, I'm so glad we're doing this. We got up to 38,000 likes tonight, y'all. Thank you. That's amazing. And thank you guys so much for all the gifts. And yeah, if anybody else has any other wins or any questions for Joe and I before we head out, you know, let them fly in the comment section. My plans for the future while we wait for people to say that stuff, Keith and I have talked, and for now, other than you know, special occasions, I'm going to be taking over Invisible No More Thursday nights. And so you will be seeing a lot more of me and hopefully Joe. And, you know, we're going to have some really great people on. And I hope that you continue to like and follow what I'm doing here, what we're doing here. And hopefully you like chicken videos. I throw a little bit of everything out there for y'all.
They are cute chickens, though.
They're cute chickens, right? I'm gonna get a coop cam. That's my like big goal, is a coop cam, and I'm gonna make my own Twitter or my own TikTok for my chickens. Hey Jake. But yeah, so my goal is that during the daytimes, probably on, I'm not gonna set a day yet, but I want to do one live during the week for my self-love workbook, and then one live during the week during the day for like a cooking, or just, you know, cooking and hanging out kind of live, where we just, you know, I want to show you all of me. That didn't sound right. I want to show you all about me. I want to show you all about me, and you know, and show that we're so much more than just our diagnoses. You know, we have a lot going on in our lives other than, you know, just being in pain, and we've got to show each other that there's more to life than being sick. You know,
I do enjoy your cooking videos, though.
Do you? Thanks.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I'm very spacey, but I try. I appreciate it. Do you have any like goals or anything, Joe, that you've been working on? I know you've been, you know, doing therapy, and that's been great.
I think I would like to get in a better headspace.
Sure.
You know?
That's a good goal.
I want to, instead of looking out the window, I want to be outside the window.
Yeah.
You know, I say that, you know, my life is like a revolving door.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'd rather be on the outside spinning it
Absolutely.
than on the inside watching it.
Yeah. I really hope that for you. I really do.
Thank you.
I know you'll get there. I know it takes a lot of work, but I know you'll get there. I do. Yeah, and if you guys could all say a little prayer for Keith. He's got an MRI coming up, and he's been having some hellacious headaches, and we just want to send him some love, and you know, we miss him. I do.
You
I
do.
miss him on here, but I want him to take care of himself, and you're gonna see that with us. We're all, we're all still chronically ill and chronically in pain, and there's gonna be days where we just can't do it, and so that's why we want to get more people involved, so that it takes a little bit of that pressure off of us too, and gives more freedom to you guys as community members. So I hope that y'all stick around, because we've got good stuff to come in November. So are you going to be part of the project, Jay? What did we name it? Project? No? What was it?
I thought it was Hope, wasn't it?
Project Hope? Maybe.
I think so. Don't quote us on that.
I know. That's where I'm at. I know I wrote it down somewhere.
Project Hope,
yeah. We'll announce it sooner, closer to November, but it's gonna be good. We're gonna be talking about some progresses, and one thing that I learned from therapy is it's about progress, not perfection, and really giving yourself grace when you feel like you've messed up or you're not enough. You absolutely are enough, and you guys got this, and I know that you guys will hopefully get to better headspaces, and the thing is that we all struggle at different times. So the nice part about community is that when some of us are struggling, we can be that shoulder, or we can help pull them out of the mud, and vice versa. That's the beauty that I've seen in having little groups of friends throughout the community, is really leaning on each other and knowing that you can trust them. But yeah, I love baking, and we got up to 40,000.
Yeah.
Woo!
Thank you,
AJ. That was quick. You guys are good. Anything else before we leave, Joe?
I want to thank everybody here for showing up. I want to thank you for having me here. And it's amazing what you guys do behind the scenes that nobody sees. The hard work that you guys put in for the community. I mean, I understand that the community is part of us. We're all part of it.
Yeah.
But it's just what you guys do, And I have to say thank you. I'm honored to be part of this. I really am.
I appreciate everything that you've stepped up recently to help us with, because we definitely need it. We definitely, need help in certain aspects, and so I'm thankful for those who have, come forward and offered to help. It's been great, to feel supported in that aspect too.
The least you have on your plate, the more you and Keith can do.
True.
Like I love doing stuff like that in the background.
Yeah. And I'm not organized, and so I struggle with that aspect of it. So you're really helping in a lot of the organization of things, and I appreciate that.
No problem.
And thank you to our mods tonight. We always appreciate y'all being a part of this too. Everybody has an important part in this community, and we're gonna, learn and grow what each other's strengths and, what we have to offer. So I hope that everybody enjoyed this evening, and I'm gonna try my darndest to post it to YouTube somehow. Joe's gonna help me with that, because I'm so technologically.
How does it? Do you record it, or how does that work?
It auto saves to my TikTok, and then I'm trying to figure out how to get that to YouTube. Okay. Usually we have somebody record. I don't know. We'll figure out after this. But yeah, I'll talk to you after this.
Okay.
Okay, Chelsea. I will try to wake up and write it down. Definitely. She said that Clayton's gonna come visit me in a dream soon, and so I know I had a dream last night, but I'm pretty positive he wasn't in it, but I'm not sure. Thank you guys. Thank you for being a part of this, and as always, you're all appreciated. And if you have any questions, if you want to volunteer to help out in any way or be a part of the project that we have coming up, feel free to send Keith and I a private message. It sometimes takes me, I'm trying to figure this all out, but I get lots of messages, and so please just be patient. It may take me a day or two to get back, but it's not you, it's me, I promise. I have so much going on in my life right now that it's just new. It's just new. So I appreciate you guys being patient with me when I don't answer right away. Thank you, Judy. I hope so too. But all right. Well, I guess that's it. Another great episode of Invisible No More. Love y'all. Good night.
Have a great night. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Amanda.
Bye, guys. Thank you.